I remember the exact moment I decided I was done being their ghost. It was Christmas Eve, and the air in my sister's house tasted like fake pine and resentment. My daughter's small hand was ice cold in mine, and my son hadn't spoken in 43 minutes. Not one word. That silence from him, it's louder than any scream. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You need to understand how deep the rot went. My name is Lucas. 39 years old. I run crews that pour foundations and raise steel in Cleveland's freezing winters. My hands are cracked, my back aches every night, and I still show up at 5 a.m. because that's who I am. The reliable one. The one who fixes things. I have 2 kids. Noah is 12, quiet, sharp, always watching the room like he's waiting for the joke to land on him. Lily is 9. She still believes people are mostly good, and every time I see that belief flicker, it gets me. Their mom and I split 3 years ago. Clean break. We trade holidays like chess pieces. This was my Christmas Eve. We pulled into my sister Clara's driveway at 3:07 p.m. The house was lit up like a department store, cars crammed everywhere. I carried the cookies we'd spent all morning baking. Lily clutched the gift she'd made, a tiny model of Clara's house, rebuilt the way Lily thought it should look, bright, sturdy, loved. She'd worked on it for weeks in secret. Inside, the noise hit like a wall. My parents were already there, laughing at something my nieces and nephew did. Clara swooped in, took the cookies, barely looked at us. "You're late," she said, even though the invite said 3. We sat through dinner. Ham. Potatoes. The same stories recycled every year. My dad made his usual crack about how I must be rolling in it with all the overtime I work. Clara joked that Noah was getting tall enough to reach my wallet soon. Everyone laughed except my kids. Then gifts. Clara's 3 tore into piles like it was a competition. Box after box. A drone. A new gaming console. Designer boots. Wrapping paper snowed across the floor. Noah and Lily sat on the carpet, back straight, waiting. The pile dwindled. Nothing. Not one tag with their names. Lily leaned into me and whispered, "Are we getting any?" Clara laughed, light, dismissive. "Oh honey, we did most of the kids' gifts last weekend with just the cousins. You guys weren't here." I hadn't been told about last weekend. She added, almost as an afterthought, "Anyway, your dad usually handles your presents, right? Since he's the one who can afford the good stuff." The room chuckled. That thin, ugly sound of people picking sides. Noah's ears went scarlet. Lily stared at the little house she'd brought, still in her lap, unopened. Something inside me cracked open, quiet, final. I stood. "We're heading out." Clara spun around. "What? You're leaving? We haven't even done gifts yet." She meant the envelope. The one I'd brought every year. The fat check I'd slide across the table so they could keep pretending I was endless. I smiled. Actually smiled. "You're right," I said. "Here." I pulled the envelope from my coat pocket. Thick. Cream-colored. Professional. Clara's eyes lit up. She tore it open like a kid on her own birthday. Her face collapsed. She read aloud, voice thinning with every line. Invoice. 8 years of tools never returned. Loans that vanished. Emergency repairs I covered. Trips with my truck. Hours of free labor on her endless projects. Every promise of, "we'll pay you back," that never happened. Total, $18,400. Due, January 20th. My mother snatched it from her hands. "This is disgusting, Lucas. You're ruining Christmas." I looked at Lily, still holding her little model house that no one had even glanced at. I looked at Noah, pretending the floor was fascinating. "No," I said, voice steady for the first time in years. "I'm done letting you ruin theirs." The room went dead silent except for the fake fireplace hissing. Lily whispered, "Daddy, can we go home now?" "Yeah, baby. We're going." We walked out into the snow. No yelling. No slammed doors. Just the soft crunch of boots and my kids breathing beside me. By 9 o'clock that night, the kids were asleep in their own beds. I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop open. First, I closed the joint savings account I'd kept topped up for family emergencies. The one only I ever deposited into. $6,200 gone back to an account with just my name. Then I logged into my supplier portal. Last month, Clara had begged me to order the cabinets for her dream kitchen, just lock in the price, we'll figure out payment later, $12,000 worth, on my trade discount. I'd already paid the deposit. I hit cancel. Confirmation pinged. Deposit refunded. Order gone. Every pipeline shut. No announcement. No dramatic text. Just quiet. The fallout came fast. Christmas morning, my phone exploded. Clara, you embarrassed me in front of everyone. Mom, we need to talk. That invoice was cruel. Dad left a voicemail in his disappointed dad voice, money and family don't mix, son. You know better. I didn't reply. 2 days later, they showed up at my door unannounced. Mom marched in waving the folded invoice like evidence. Dad behind her, face red. You owe your sister an apology, Mom started. For what? I asked, leaning against the frame. For keeping score. For making a scene. Noah was in the hallway, listening. Lily peeked around the corner, clutching her rabbit. I stepped aside so they could see them. I didn't make a scene, I said. I handed Clara a list of what I've given for 8 years while my kids sat empty-handed. I'm not asking for the money. I'm asking you to stop acting like they don't exist unless I'm paying for the privilege of being ignored. Dad snorted. Kids are resilient. They don't notice that stuff. Lily's lip trembled. Noah's fists clenched. I looked my father in the eye. They notice everything. Mom opened her mouth. Closed it. For the first time in years, no one had a comeback. They left 10 minutes later. The invoice still sits on my desk. Unpaid, of course. But something shifted. Noah talks more now. Not a lot, but more. Lily drew a new house last week. This one has 4 bedrooms. One for her, one for Noah, one for me. And a big front door that stays open. I still don't know if they'll ever pay a cent. I don't need them to. I just needed to stop letting them treat my kids like afterthoughts, and me like an ATM with feelings. Some bridges you don't burn. You just stop maintaining them. And you walk away before they collapse under the weight of everything you've been carrying alone. So tell me. If it were your kids sitting there with nothing while everyone else opened the world. If it were you giving everything and watching your children learn they don't matter. Would you have stayed quiet one more year? Or would you have finally handed them the bill? Let me know in the comments. I'm listening. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.